Some Mexicans look African because they are. Mexico has deep African roots that most people never talk about. When the Spanish arrived in the 1500s, they didn't just bring Europeans. They also brought thousands of enslaved Africans. Over generations, many gained freedom, built families, and became part of Mexico's DNA. By the 1600s, Afro-Mexicans made up nearly 10% of the population. They lived in cities, worked the land, and even led uprisings against colonial rule. One of Mexico's greatest heroes, Vicente Guerrero, Afro-Indigenous, revolutionary, and the country's second president, abolished slavery in 1829, long before the U.S. did. Today, Afro-Mexican communities still thrive, especially along the Costa Chica of Guerrero and Oaxaca. Their music, their dances, their traditions, all proof that Mexico isn't just indigenous and Spanish, it's African too. And that's part of our strength.
In this why when they go to talk about ICE, I just mind my business. Voting data shows that a Latino vote was the tipping point that pushed James Tarico to victory over Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Crockett did extremely well with the black. Of course she did. Of course they did.
Latinos, you can scream MAGA all you want, vote red, only speak English, even call ICE yourself, but you will never be the exception. You will never be white, and it's not going to stop you from getting racially profiled. Who said that? Who said that?
And so it's cool. Jasmine gonna be straight. This is how politics works. You know, she won. She won before and she lost before. Most politicians have lost. All right, it does happen. She'll be back in some capacity, one way or another. Right, whether it's on politics or on the business side or wherever she, you know, comes upon. Either way, she'll be around. She'll be just fine. Right. But you Latinos, y'all gonna keep getting what y'all deserve. And you know what? Whenever y'all put a Latino up on a national office and you think us black folks gonna just back, y'all think that's an automatic vote? Y'all just sealed the deal, man. Y'all just sealed it. Y'all think y'all can put what's her name, AOC up there? Y'all think we gonna vote for her? Y'all think we gonna it's gonna be a black and brown coalition then? Y'all think if y'all run AOC, y'all think we gonna vote for her? I want you to ask you that. If you run any Latino on the Democratic side for any national office, you think the black vote you think they're going to be there for you? After what you have demonstrated over the last several years, over the last several elections, how you feel about us, you let us know when it comes time to take actual action that you guys are not an ally. You guys are an ally as long as we standing behind you. You guys are an ally as long as we benefit you, but God forbid, any of us come up. You guys are on a race to be the model minority. You want white people to accept you. You guys want white people to love you. You guys want to be white. Right? But even the white Cubans are getting deported. Think about that shit. Them about as white as you can get, they getting deported. If you are Latin, if you are speaking the European language of Spanish, all right, the rest of the Anglo-Saxon, barbarian, Francophone, goddamn Germanic white people do not accept you. You might as well be a Russian. All right. Matter of fact, Russians get to be called white and get to have a little bit more white privilege than you Spanish-speaking white folk.
They say. And this is the thing, as long as I've been on this earth, almost 70 years, I think what the problem is that certain minorities are looking for acceptance from certain Americans, other Americans. And you're not going to get that until you accept yourselves. There's a problem with colorism in the Hispanic community, and it's been that way for a long time. And you have not accepted yourself. You have not taken responsibilities for your own actions, for your own colorism, for your own prejudices in your own community. And this is what most Black people understand about Hispanics. And I'm not saying all Hispanics, but I'm saying some Hispanics that basically have a deep sense of colorism in their own community. So we understand that. We understand that you are not going to side with us, Black people, because you have a colorism issue in your own community. And this is what we've been knowing for years. Again, I've been on this earth for almost 70 years, and I've seen that these people have not changed. It's the same people. Again, it's not all Hispanics. It's not all Cubans. It's not all one minority. It's certain sectors of their communities that have been voting this way for decades. and they're not going to change. The next election, they will vote the same way. And this is the thing about some Hispanics, not all Hispanics, is that they will hold a grudge. They will hold a grudge because they really don't want to take responsibility. They don't want to take responsibility for the fact that they've done something wrong in terms of voting. And then when it hits the fan, and you know what I mean, then they come out and complain and say, why is people not backing us? Because you've been doing this for years. You've been doing the same thing over and over for years, and you haven't stopped. So what do we expect? We don't expect anything from you. The only thing we expect is the same thing we've expected for the last 50 years after the Voting Rights Act, at the Immigration Act. A few years after that, you were voting for, you were voting against your own interests, for one, and you've been voting for people who are not going to benefit you. You've been putting people in office for the same things over and over and over again. The thing about insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. These people just don't have a clue about what they need to do in America. So they voted against Jasmine Crockett and they thought they made a statement. No, you didn't make a statement. You continue to make statements on yourself over and over again. Black people really don't care how you vote, because the bottom line is you've been voting that way for 70 years since I've been knowing. Yeah, again, early 70s, you've been voting that way. You've been voting against your own interest, and it continues. And so why should we expect that you vote any other way other than voting against your own interest? Let's look at the rest of the video and we'll go from there.
They did it for the economy and jobs. They ain't gonna be here for a good economy if there is one, and ain't gonna be no jobs. They're gonna get deported. They're trying to uncitizen people. There will be no anchor babies. And they said, you know what? We ain't got to separate your families. You know what we're going to do? We'll just take all of y'all. Mm-hmm. So I think they signed up for a bill of goods, and Trump is showing exactly who he is now. And I feel really badly for Latinos. However, they chose Trump overwhelmingly. So,
and let's just go over this really quick.
So yes, we need a fighter. And I was so ready to vote.
Let me just add to what this same lady said. I remember, I think this took place just after the election. There was one that was before the election, and they were talking about Latinos and why Latinos voted that way, or why they will vote that way. This is the problem. The problem is that Latinos have been voting that way for a long, long time, okay? Even though it's been hurting them, every time they vote that way, they continue to vote that way, and they've been voting that way as long as I've been born. And I was born in the 50s. And again, after the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Act, soon after that, they were voting against their own interests. So again, why should we expect anything different from them? There are people who don't take the responsibility, and I think they were seriously hurt. They were seriously hurt by these election results, but they didn't get it. And they've never gotten it again since I've been on this earth. They always vote against their own interests because they vote in regards to sound bites. They vote in regards to the economy. And just like that woman said, there's no economy. Look at the economy today. This is March 2026. The economy is not getting any better, but let them tell it. They voted for the economy. And what happened? They get deported. I don't understand it, but as Black people, we're not trying to understand it. We understand these people, and we know that there's a colorism problem in their own country, and they brought it over here, meaning that you bring the same baggage from your country of Mexico and you bring it to America. You bring that your own thinking to America. And this is what is depleting your group. your ethnic background. And it's going to continue because you don't seem to get it as Hispanic people. Again, I'm not saying those Hispanic people. There's a lot of people who voted for Kamala Harris. And I'm not saying we don't care how you vote, but make sense. Make it make sense. Make your vote make sense, because that's the only way that is going to benefit you as a people. You're not going to benefit voting against your interest. And this is what people have been doing for so many years, voting against their interests, and especially Hispanic people. And a lot of minorities who come to this country vote against their own interests. But they don't seem to get it year after year, decade after decade, voting against their own interests. Now let's watch the rest of the video and we'll see what this woman has to say.
For Jasmine Crockett, because I love her. But I voted for Tallarico, because we need somebody who can win.
If this is going to be the line.
And this is a problem. I'm voting for Tallarico because of somebody who can win. Well, maybe if you cast your vote for, and these people, and there's a lot of them, there's hundreds, there's thousands of people think that way. Oh, I voted for somebody who can win. But you cast your vote against Jasmine Crockett. Make that make sense.
Line of reasoning for voters in Texas, then they need to start voting for Crockett right now. Polling is showing that Crockett is ahead in the Democratic primary and Paxton is ahead in the Republican primary. And Paxton is the important part here because Hart Research just came out with their own polling showing that Crockett actually has a chance of flipping the state blue in the general if she is against Ken Paxton. This whole thing where Crockett isn't winnable in Texas is going to end up being a self-fulfilling prophecy of the Democrats because you're going to end up with a candidate who is not able to win against Ken Paxton. And this is not shade to Tallarico. I am a Tallarico fan from back in the early days of him being in the House. But this reasoning is not it. Use the data. End lecture.
And that's the data. That's the data. And this is a problem. Now you get to a point like the Carrie movie says, they're all going to laugh at you. And this is what they're doing to people who voted incorrectly. This is what it means when you vote against your own interest. Everybody's laughing at you. Everybody in the United States, the majority of the people are laughing at you. Even your own people are laughing at you. And this is a serious problem in America. You vote against your own interests, and everybody is saying, what the hell is going on with these people who continue to vote against their own interests? Is there a problem in terms of their thinking, their critical thinking? Is there a problem in terms of them just not understanding what the political process is all about? Or do these people basically are racist people in their own communities? Again, colorism is very profound in that community, in the Hispanic community. Very profound. And in a lot of other communities. And again, some of these people want to be accepted by white society so badly they will do anything. They will cut off their nose to spite their face. And that's what they've been doing. Okay? Please subscribe to the channel. We'll bring you more videos in regards to what's going on politically in America. And we'll see you in the next video.